$60 resort fees, $30 for parking, 5 table minimums, $30 food court hamburgers, $200 show tickets. I wonder why tourism is down in Vegas. I'd rather spend a week in Hawaii than a weekend in Vegas. This complaint is not just from one tourist. It's gradually becoming the common voice of millions who once considered Las Vegas the promised land. Instead of joy and dreams of a better life, tourists now only see unreasonable bills and feel like they're being preyed upon in a city that operates like a money-sucking machine. Perhaps the biggest bet in Vegas today is no longer on blackjack tables or roulette wheels. It lies in the choice. Who is wise enough not to gamble their vacation on a place that has lost its magic? In today's video, we'll follow the wave of tourists leaving Vegas to explore new destinations, more exciting and affordable, where the spirit of old Vegas is still alive, but doesn't require you to empty your wallet. For those who have never experienced old Vegas, or for those seeking to relive the memories and nostalgia that modern Las Vegas has lost, you don't need a time machine. You just need to go north to Reno, Nevada. What overwhelms tourists the most is the price. In Las Vegas, even a cheap room on the Strip can be priced at over $300 per night, not including resort fees, parking fees, and a host of hidden surcharges. Meanwhile, in Reno, you can absolutely stay at a decent casino hotel for under $100, and there's absolutely no unreasonable $45 resort fee just to use the refrigerator or open the window. Not only that, but Reno also offers things that should be taken for granted. Free Wi-Fi and parking, instead of paying up to $70 for an hour of parking like in Vegas. You don't need to hold a magnifying glass to scan each line of the bill, nor do you have to anxiously wait to see if there are any hidden fees lurking. And this easy breathing experience doesn't stop at the hotel. The food scene in Reno also surprises many people. There are no more $9 coffees or $40 burgers with beer. Here you can still sip a fresh beer for just $5, or enjoy a luxurious buffet with generous portions for only half the $60 price tag in Vegas. That feeling of paying exactly what's on the sign, something that should be obvious, has now turned into an unexpected joy. Because that's precisely what many visitors have completely lost in Las Vegas. For families, retirees, or anyone who still remembers Vegas as a destination of true value, Reno feels like a return to what travel was meant to be. But Reno isn't just cheaper. This city still retains a friendly and approachable casino culture, where the genuine enjoyment of customers remains a priority. Stepping into a casino in Reno, you'll immediately notice a stark difference. There's no cold atmosphere, no shielding by closed-off VIP areas or red velvet ropes. And more importantly, the dealers and slot machine attendants were still smiling, chatting, creating a welcoming, friendly, and human atmosphere. The money you spend in this city is always worth the experience you get in return. Most importantly, you feel like a genuine guest, not a mark or a walking wallet. Even more remarkably, unlike the scorching 115-degree Fahrenheit dry heat of the Las Vegas desert, where an egg can sizzle on the pavement in minutes, Reno boasts something Vegas will never have: stunning natural beauty. Just a 30-minute drive and you can reach Lake Tahoe, one of America's most famous natural wonders. This is a rare combination: hiking, boating, and skiing during the day, and back at the blackjack table in the evening. A multifaceted experience that Vegas cannot replicate. The unique blend of nature and casino life makes Reno stand out. Of course, no city is completely perfect. Reno doesn't have superstar shows, international DJs, or glamorous mega clubs. Nightlife is smaller and entertainment is more local. For those seeking fireworks and dazzling lights, this place might be a bit mild. But overall, Reno strikes a delicate balance. Big enough for you to enjoy, yet small enough not to feel overwhelming or become so commercialized that it loses its soul. Can a small city like Reno maintain its friendly identity and old Vegas values as visitors from all over begin to flock there? And if Vegas has forgotten why it was once loved, could Reno become a reminder that true joy is never found in hidden fees, but in how a city treats its people? Atlantic City was once considered a pale shadow of Las Vegas, a city that lost its luster when the entertainment crown was transferred to the City of Sin in the Nevada desert. But as Las Vegas transformed itself into a cold, calculating machine, squeezing every penny through hidden fees, visitors along the New Jersey shore found something different, genuine, authentic, and somewhat familiar warmth that Vegas had forgotten. Just imagine, you're strolling along a 4-mile wooden boardwalk, where the glittering casino lights on one side contrast with the vast blue ocean on the other. Here, the experience goes beyond just card tables or slot machines. It's also the salty air of the sea, something the Nevada desert can never replicate. Of course, Atlantic City can't compare in size or opulence to Las Vegas. Winter here is cold. The economy has experienced many ups and downs, and some areas outside the casino district still face many difficulties. However, when summer arrives, this coastal city bursts with life thanks to outdoor concerts, dazzling fireworks, and beach festivals. Things that even Vegas with all its neon lights can't offer. Atlantic City today is a vibrant destination, famous for its dramatic boardwalk, iconic casinos, and lively beaches. Whether you're looking for a vibrant nightlife, world-class entertainment, or simply a relaxing day by the beach, this place has it all. With its blend of rich history and modern energy, Atlantic City offers something for every visitor, from luxurious resorts and stunning ocean views to a multitude of vibrant attractions. From the Borgata, Tropicana, and Hard Rock to Caesars. The casinos in Atlantic City still retain the classic Vegas vibe, but are more accessible, less crowded, have friendly dealers, and aren't too rushed. There's still simple joy to be found, the kind that Las Vegas sacrificed to cater to the super rich. Eating here is also more fair, from luxurious restaurants run by famous chefs to casual eateries. Everything is transparent, without the $20 COVID recovery fee or table cleaning surcharges. Resorts like the Borgata also offer world-class spas and live performances in lounges or concert halls. Visitors can play cards, enjoy cuisine, and relax, all within the same energetic space. But Atlantic City didn't stop there. If in Vegas, the adventure is mainly confined to cards and dice, here you can swim, surf, play beach volleyball, or even jet ski and parasail on the sea. A seaside version of Las Vegas, both lively and diverse in experiences. For many middle-aged people, Atlantic City evokes the Vegas of old, where the joy came from friendliness and sincerity, not from a thick stack of hidden fees. And most importantly, it's right on the East Coast. With millions of residents in New York, Philadelphia, or Washington, D.C., Atlantic City is just a train ride or a few hours drive away. No need to fly 5 hours to Nevada, no jet lag to deal with. A friendly, approachable Vegas that's right at your fingertips. If Atlantic City, a city once considered a shadow, can still maintain its spirit of fair play, then perhaps it is Las Vegas that has lost its soul. And if true joy can now only be found in the waves of the Atlantic Ocean, shouldn't we ask, how long will it take for Vegas to find itself again? If Las Vegas was once known for the clinking of slot machines, Austin welcomes visitors with live music echoing from 6th Street and the smoky aroma of BBQ wafting through every corner. This isn't a city of illusions, but a place where real experiences are sold. A pint of craft beer for just $6, a local band playing electric guitar right in front of you, and a slow-cooked BBQ dinner that evokes memories of youth. For older Americans who experienced Woodstock or the hippie movement, Austin is not just a destination, but a gateway to the past, a place where culture is unscripted, unartificial, but vibrant and authentic. Austin is emerging as America's new entertainment hub, a city where music and food are the glue that keeps visitors coming back. The reason for this partly stems from the philosophy of keep Austin weird, maintain uniqueness, don't conform. This slogan appeals to both young people seeking uniqueness and older generations, nostalgic for an authentic culture. Not a few people who used to consider Vegas an annual destination are now choosing Austin as a replacement. That shift isn't just due to more affordable costs, but also to the sense of belonging that Vegas has lost. Of course, the population and tourism boom also has its downsides. Austin is becoming increasingly crowded, congested, and expensive to live in, reminiscent of Vegas a century ago. But what's different is that Austin isn't trying to replace Vegas. It's creating something Vegas never had, a real culture, not just an illusion built to sell tickets. And this is precisely why millions of visitors, especially those turning away from Vegas, are choosing Austin as an alternative. This is also a place to mention a new trend. Instead of spending thousands of dollars in one night, many middle-aged and elderly Americans are choosing to enjoy slow travel, focusing on health and cultural experiences. Brands like Humana, with their sustainable healthcare and lifestyle programs, are embracing this trend, encouraging older generations to enjoy the journey without compromising financial or physical safety. If more and more Americans find joy and memories in cities like Austin, where will Las Vegas, once a symbol of freedom and entertainment, stand on the future travel map? Imagine this. You walk out of the Hard Rock Casino in Biloxi, Mississippi. Before me wasn't a barren desert, nor neon-lit streets, but the deep blue sea gradually turning red in the sunset. The sandy beach stretches out, waves crash on the shore, and just a few steps away, the rustling of playing cards can still be heard. That feeling was both familiar and strange, a southern Vegas that wasn't overwhelmingly luxurious, but was easy to breathe in, easy to connect with, and surprisingly approachable. For many visitors, the appeal of Biloxi lies not in its size, but in its accessibility. Room prices average around $80. A delicious seafood meal can cost as little as $25, and a cold bottle of beer sometimes costs less than $4. This isn't a cheap version of Vegas, but a Vegas with a change of scenery. The sea, salty air, and a little bit of relaxation that the Strip no longer offers. It's that very difference that's driving the middle class, who were once excluded from the game in Nevada, to Biloxi as an alternative. This coastal city has been positioned by local authorities and tourism corporations as a strategic destination to revive the economy. According to data from the Mississippi Gaming Commission, revenue from the state's coastal casino industry exceeded $600 million in 2022, a figure that highlights Biloxi's growing role on the US tourism map. But behind the bright lights of casinos like Beau Ravage or Golden Nugget, thorny questions remain. Who truly benefits from this development? Local residents or just out-of-state corporations? The question is how Biloxi can avoid becoming a victim of its own dependence on the sea and gambling. The solution may lie in diversifying tourism experiences, developing local culture, cuisine, water sports, and nature conservation as part of a long-term strategy. These models have been tested by many major brands, such as Hilton, which is expanding coastal resorts linked to sustainable development and disaster risk reduction. Can Biloxi truly become the Vegas of the South? Or will it forever remain a fragile dream waiting to be swept away by a storm? And more importantly, when a city has to rely entirely on ocean waves and roulette wheels to survive, will the future it leaves for future generations be a sustainable opportunity or a risky gamble? If Las Vegas produces entertainment like an industrial assembly line, New Orleans lets the joy flow freely, like blood in the veins. On Bourbon Street, music isn't a ticketed performance, but the daily rhythm of life. The saxophone blends with the drums. Street singers' voices mingle with laughter. A craft cocktail is only about $8, A steaming bowl of gumbo is $15. Cheaper, more authentic, and more intimate than the exorbitant costs on the Strip. This is where visitors find joy without being charged on their bill. But it's also a reminder that culture, if not protected, can easily be swept away. New Orleans has long been considered the cradle of joy, a city where music, food, and community blend into organic entertainment. This appeal stems from the indigenous culture, from the Creole and Cajun heritage to the jazz tradition. There's nowhere else in America where a jazz band can march down the street at midnight, and the locals will naturally join in, turning the street into an informal festival. It was that authenticity that caused many tourists, especially older generations, to leave Vegas and seek out New Orleans. According to data from New Orleans & Company, in 2022, the city welcomed over 17 million visitors, a recovery level nearly equal to the pre-pandemic period. This isn't just an economic figure. It also shows that tourists are willing to choose New Orleans over overly commercialized destinations. They don't need artificial light or scripted parties. They need natural joy, where they feel like part of a community, not an exploited customer. However, the city also has its dark sides. The deteriorating infrastructure, higher than average crime rates, and pressure from mass tourism can erode the original cultural character. The question is, when culture is the only asset, can New Orleans protect it from increasing commercialization? This is not just a problem for one city, but also a warning to the entire United States about preserving values that cannot be replicated with money. The solution might lie in a combination of community and business, developing tourism that is linked to preserving culture. Major brands like Marriott have begun experimenting with a cultural resonance model, where hotels in New Orleans partner with local artists to host live music right in the lobby, rather than importing unfamiliar shows. This is proof that economy and culture can coexist if properly directed. Can a city continue to be a symbol of freedom and music when economic and social pressures are increasingly mounting? And if New Orleans loses its soul, will America have another place that can turn every night into a festival? If Las Vegas is a stage that never dims, then Lake Tahoe is nature's mirror, reflecting that contrast. Here, instead of cigarette smoke in the casino, you breathe in the fresh air of the pine forest. Instead of artificial light piercing the night, you have a deep blue lake stretching endlessly. Lake Tahoe doesn't have million-dollar shows or blazing mega clubs, but it offers something Vegas has never touched: balance. For many visitors, especially older generations, Tahoe isn't a replacement for Vegas, but a spiritually upgraded version, a Vegas that can breathe with nature. Just a half-hour drive from Reno, many people choose to combine both: kayaking on the lake, hiking through the forest, or even skiing in the winter during the day, and then returning to the lights and blackjack tables of Reno in the evening. This is a unique combination of wilderness and vibrancy that cannot be replicated anywhere else in America. But beneath that beauty, Lake Tahoe also has its cracks. Climate change is causing the lake, once considered the clearest in the United States, to face warming waters, more frequent wildfires, and increased pollution due to the massive number of tourists. According to research by the UC Davis-Tahoe Environmental Research Center, in 2021, the lake's water quality dropped to its lowest level in over 50 years, clearly reflecting nature's vulnerability to human pressure. The image of Lake Tahoe reflecting the lights of the Reno casinos is the symbol of this reality. Behind the glamorous picture of nature and entertainment combined, the big winners are not always the locals. Local authorities are facing a difficult problem: how to maintain the flow of funds from tourism while still protecting the environment and preventing the community from being pushed out by the land boom. The long-term solution may lie in commitments to protect nature alongside tourism development. Many major insurance brands like State Farm have launched product packages to support residents in high wildfire risk areas, while also promoting a sustainable tourism model, from energy conservation to environmental protection. This could be the path that helps Lake Tahoe not only survive, but also maintain its identity amidst challenges. If Lake Tahoe reminds us that Vegas has turned its back on nature, the question to ask is, can a city dependent on tourism both thrive and retain its soul? And as indigenous people are forced to leave their ancestral homes due to rising prices, will those clear blue lakes still be a shared heritage? Or will they become a privilege only for those wealthy enough to own them? When it comes to American tourism, few people put Shreveport, Louisiana on their list. This isn't an international destination, nor is it a prominent city on the entertainment map. However, for thousands of working-class families in the South, Shreveport is the only place where they can experience a touch of Vegas glamour without spending thousands of dollars. A casino on the river, cheap rooms, and simple meals, all of this creates a Vegas for the forgotten. But if you look closer, you see a fragile reality. A poor city almost entirely dependent on gambling, where neon lights hide the dark corners of the streets. The most iconic image of Shreveport is the floating casinos along the Red River. Instead of wide boulevards, here they've built ships turned into casinos, anchored as a way to hold on to economic hope. Local residents describe Shreveport as not a vacation paradise for them, but a place where there's work, a little bit of fun, and a feeling of not being left behind. A 59-year-old woman who used to be a garment worker after the factory closed is now a waitress at a floating casino. For her, it wasn't a dream, but the only choice for survival. The numbers also reflect this fragility. According to the Louisiana Gaming Control Board, in 2022, Shreveport and Bossier City recorded over $0.5 billion in gambling revenue, accounting for the majority of the region's tourism budget. But that dependence means that if the economy declines or the laws change, the city could immediately fall into chaos. Without technology, large-scale production, or a diversified economic base, Shreveport relied on the money tourists put into slot machines. What makes many people think is that Shreveport isn't a mini Vegas, but rather the Vegas for those who have no other choice. It reflects a two-sided America. On one hand, the bright lights for the super rich, and on the other, a river city trying to survive on collective gambling. The neon lights reflecting on the dark Red River are that bittersweet symbol, beautiful for a moment, but also reminding us of fragility. However, Shreveport also raises a larger question. Can a city dependent on casinos survive long-term? The solution could come from investing in education, infrastructure, and complementary industries like ecotourism and southern culture, instead of relying solely on gambling. Many major brands like Caesars Entertainment have begun experimenting with integrated resort models, combining entertainment with dining, spas, and community events to create more sustainable revenue streams. But to succeed, Shreveport needs more than that. It needs a strategy to break free from the cycle of dependence. When the whole nation is looking for alternatives to Vegas, who will dare to build a fairer and more sustainable model? And while the casino lights still shimmer on the river's surface, is Shreveport truly alive? Or is it just gambling with its own future? The journey through Reno, Atlantic City, Austin, Biloxi, New Orleans, Lake Tahoe, and Shreveport reveals a different picture of America, where residents and visitors are leaving Las Vegas in search of more authentic, intimate, and sometimes more fragile experiences. From the neon lights reflecting on the Red River to the fiery guitar riffs in Austin, each city holds its own story, of hope, of memories, and also of uncertainty about an uncertain future. But the most important question remains unanswered. When Americans no longer find the dream of entertainment in Vegas, what are we truly seeking? A new, fairer, and more sustainable Vegas? Or is it just another illusion, temporarily soothing the disappointment? If you've ever witnessed a city change due to tourism, for better or worse, Please share your story in the comments section. And if you find this video thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue our journey together in the next adventures.